Oh, I smell trouble. Oh, well, the DNA on a weapon used in the murder of a Queensland woman in 2021 will now be retested as her husband pursues an appeal to overturn his conviction. It comes after inquiry found serious failures in how the Queensland Forensic Lab conducted evidence testing. Let's bring in criminologist and former detective Dr. Terry Goldsmith from the Gold Coast. Thanks so much for your time, Doctor. On what grounds can this weapon be retested?
Well, it's under what we call the new and fresh evidence rule in terms of a appeal against a criminal conviction. So the Supreme Court is satisfied, or needs to be satisfied in matters like this, that there is compelling new and fresh evidence that may indicate that the miscarriage of justice has occurred. And if that's the case, then we'll see, as we have seen in this matter, the courts will order or allow for evidence to be retested to see what the outcome of that is.
Yeah, apparently they found some unidentified DNA on that weapon. Now, the man convicted, Andrew John Cobby, has always maintained his innocence. Should his case be overturned, how significant would this be?
Well, I think it is significant. I mean, when we had the DNA inquiry in Queensland, the Commissioner indicated that he wasn't really concerned about miscarriages of justice where someone had been convicted wrongfully. So when you're talking about miscarriages of justice, it's a less than optimal outcome from the justice system. And we have positive outcomes where someone who is not guilty is convicted, and we have negative outcomes where someone who is culpable is not taken to trial. He was concerned about the ones where people weren't taken to trial because their matters hadn't been tested. This is the other one. This is the one that I think the law fraternity was more concerned about in terms of people who have been convicted not having had all of their evidence tested or tested appropriately, etc. So I think this will be watched very keenly by the legal community and also people who have been convicted, and if their cases were heavily reliant on DNA testing through that lab, which we know had serious issues, I think we'll see many more of these cases come forward.
Yeah, and that's the problem, I guess. It's what does this spell for other cases? I mean, obviously this is something the Queensland Government is also concerned about. I guess the question is just how compelling does the evidence need to be to overturn a conviction? Do you think we could see this kind of open a can of worms and potentially lead to other cases being overturned?
Well, I certainly think it could. I mean, we know that the inquiry said or heard evidence that some 20,000 plus samples weren't tested, and 7,000 of them related to serious major crimes such as rapes and murders. So I think this is just the beginning of a large trend that we're going to see. There'll be lawyers and there'll be people who are convicted reviewing their own evidence and going through, is there room for reasonable doubt to be raised? And this is what this is about. It's about them raising a reasonable doubt at appeal.
Yeah.
And if they do so, then the court may order a retrial, it may quash the conviction or whatever the outcome may be. But our system is based on a reasonable doubt, and unfortunately the DNA lab scandal that we've had in Queensland